Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Today is a beautiful Sunday episode. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Today's juicy thread for today is people who work in the medical field. What were some of the most scary last words you've heard from a dying patient? So let's see what you guys got going on. All right, I've done hospice work, home health care, and worked in a nursing home. The best one was in a nursing home with an elderly man. We knew it was coming soon, but he has no family, so we were taking turns just being with him. He opened his eyes and smiled and said, "It's such a lovely day. Don't let this spoil it." It really was a perfect spring day. He passed about 5 minutes later. Wow. The saddest was a lady in hospice care. She kept saying, "Not until they're all here, not until they're all here." The family finally admitted she had a The family finally admitted she had a son and that she had disowned for many years prior. They tried to locate him but weren't successful. She died crying for her boy. Jeez, man. At least he died with a smile on his face. Goodness. Oh, I mean, a lot of times, you don't really think about like mortality in your last moments and what they're going to be like. And I mean, thank goodness for this dude. He was able to, have a good one. And dang. All right. I volunteer with hospice and my patient had fallen and was not doing well. She wasn't really fully awake and aware while I was there. When I went to leave, she looked me in the eyes and was so there, not sure of a better word, and said, I love you to me for the first and last time. She was just so sweet and I still miss her. I'm not exactly sure what she was trying to say there. I read it verbatim, and so it's like, and said, I love you to me for the first and last time. Okay. I mean, at least she didn't, pass alone, and at least she passed coherently. That's nice. Let's see. Okay, quotations. Did you turn the lights off? Me, no, the lights are still on. That's funny. It's really not I spent over 30 days in and out of the hospital in 2018 for a medical issue I had. Most of the time, I had to share a room in one room. I was with this guy in his late 50s there for some serious pneumatic, I don't know, with complications. Pneumonia. Okay, sorry, cannot read. He was morbidly obese and had diabetes and some other health issues. We were sitting there watching Jeopardy. He said, when he said the above, as soon as he said, he kind of started having trouble breathing. Some gasping, a bunch of alarms went off, and then out of nowhere, half a dozen doctors and nurses and such were in the room. Somebody wheeled my bed out to another room. I found out later that he died of a massive heart attack. I don't know why he thought everything went black first. The doctor didn't know either, though she had some ideas. The head nurse, this tiny Filipina lady, said he was dying. You don't die all at once. Some parts die first. Wow. So dude thought he was just chilling and everything was copacetic, and one thing was dying after another, and then all of a sudden he was just gone. That's crazy. Oh, man. Elderly woman was on the phone with her husband deciding on what her code status on what her code status should be. She went into cardiac arrest mid-sentence. We didn't notice the phone when doing CPR until after she was pronounced dead. Husband listened to the entire thing. Oh, imagine being the husband, bro. Like, she's just like, all she knows she's about to go. And so then she just calls you and she's just like, oh, I love you, da da da, this is going on, blah, blah, blah. And then just nothing. And you're just sitting there like, hello, 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 hello. And all you hear is just doctors and all this kind of stuff. And, oh, man. Oh. This type of stuff and needles is the reason why I couldn't do, and blood is the reason why I couldn't be like, I couldn't work in the hospital. Like, dude. Oh. One patient of my mom's was an elderly man at the ER who was cursing out his wife with the final gasp of his breath he could muster. His words were incoherent, but you could feel that they were full of anger. We later found out he was poisoned and the wife was the culprit due to an insurance fraud case. Yo! Oh, shit. The wife was just sitting there pretending like she was just taking it. And she's like, you fucking bitch, you did this to me, you whore. I can't believe you. Da, 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 da. And she's just like, die, motherfucker. Die. Yes. Do it. Do it. Die. Like, god damn. Oh, shit. Oh shit, I kind of lost where I was at. No, I hate when this happens. Hold on. Okay. Damn. Okay, I have worked in the medical field for almost 20 years, but the one with the most impact was from my grandma. She told me my grandpa was waiting for her. She wanted to be him but most of all, she was tired of seeing me, so tired and not having a life anymore. For context, I had quit working and put my life on hold for 2 years to take care of her full time. You just take of her. Okay, I'm like, all right. So she asked for a DNR. I signed, and she became unconscious shortly, and subsequently passed away. Damn. Okay. All right. Her shit was so broken up, I'm like, I couldn't really make coherent of it, but sure. Something lighthearted to share. I work in retail pharmacy and called one of our regular patients to tell him his meds are ready for pickup. He managed to answer his cell phone and told me he's dying and currently at hospice. Then he thanked me for always preparing his meds for him. I said, you're welcome, and hung up on the phone. Or hung up. Godly. It's not hung up on phone. Like, you guys, grammar people, hung up the phone. Jesus. A few weeks later, he showed up at our pharmacy to pick up. I had to ask my coworkers if they are also seeing what I'm seeing. That was 5 years ago. Wonder if he's still alive. Probably not. I would hope so, but hopefully he is. But ooh, my dad's last word was in answer to a question: hospice. He suffered a spinal stroke that paralyzed him from the neck down and could not breathe on his own. So he was on a ventilator for 2 months. We were told he wasn't recovering like he should be at the term of care at the place he was at. was coming to an end. We either needed to transfer him to a long-term care facility or go with hospice care. I wasn't comfortable making the decision without his input, so we got him alert enough and got a device attached to his trach tube to let him speak a little. I explained the situation and asked what he wanted to do. That one word is all he even tried to say. He was just done with it all. So they set up a little thing on him, and then they were just like, "What do you want to do?" And he was like, "Hospice, dead." Like, it's not funny, but it's not funny. It's not funny, but it's like that was it. Like, that was all he had to say. Like, at least, I love you or something. They did all this work to hook up a thing, and he just said hospice and died. Like, all right. My wife, about 10 hours before she died of her stomach cancer, that had metastasized to her lungs and was suffocating her, no more. They put her on benzo after that, and she spent the last hours unconscious. Man, so they pretty much had her die in her sleep, but she just said no more. She was like, "I'm done with this shit. I'm over it. Life is just kaputs for you, girl." Man, it must be tough. Let's see. Okay, never really had any scary ones. Most of my work has been in cancer, so they've either died in a relatively comfortable manner with palliative care, or they've tended to go pretty suddenly. My favorite was a chap who was unresponsive for a few days, woke up suddenly and asked for a cornetto ice cream, not a croissant. Okay. A nurse popped to the shops and got him one. He ate it, then closed his eyes and died. Dude just had to get in one last ice cream in. Legend. That's crazy. He had such a strong will. He was just like, body, we ain't dying yet. I need to taste this motherfucking ice cream one more time. Give it to me one more time, baby, before we leave. Before we exit stage left, I need me this ice cream now. That's crazy. Man. Yeah, that dude is a legend. I was in the Army, and one of my fellow soldiers was able to call their parents on a sat phone during their death. Their last words were apologies for causing so much trouble as a teen and how they wish they could be back home to fix everything. The parents were in shock, and I had to take the phone to let them know their child was gone. Oh my God. Oh. I mean, at least he got to air out his grievances, and he got to come to terms with, the stuff that he'd like, dude, imagine. I mean, even if you're the parents or you're the guy that's there and dude's just literally coughing up blood, like, all I want to do is call my parents, and talk to them one more time. Just give me that. That's it. And homeboy's just setting up the sat, and he's just like, "Here you go, man." And he was just like, "I'm sorry for being a nuisance as a teenager and this and that, and da, 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 da. Like, I loved you. I wish I could be there." And then he's just done. And then you have to take the phone out of his hand and be like, "He's gone. He's gone. He's done." Like, oh, damn. Wasn't his last word because technically he couldn't speak. But couple days before he passed, my dad was in the hospital on a ventilator, and he wasn't getting better. We gave him his options, which neither were good, pretty much long-term care on a ventilator or hospice. And he wrote, "I thought I had more time." He probably got those two options and thought to himself, like, no way. He was like, I thought I had more time. And I think a lot of times it's like that. You think you have more time than you actually do, and it's just oh, damn. Not a scary moment, but a beautiful one. I held the hand of my best friend who had metastasized breast cancer. When I kissed her cheek goodbye, she had tears in her eyes and wouldn't let go of my hand. I said, "I'll see you tomorrow, don't be sad." And while still clenching my hand, she said through her tears, "I love you, don't you ever forget it." She closed her eyes right then and there and passed away after her 9-year battle with cancer. Wow, 9 years. Imagine. Like, she was just done. She was tired. She was like, I'm good. I'm over it. And at least she had somebody there with her like that. I think that made the biggest difference, if I'm being honest with you. That probably made the hugest difference in her eyes. She was probably just like, as long as I have my best friend with me, we Gucci. I'm ready to go. Beam me up, Jesus. Because 9 years is a long time. That's a long time to be dealing with medications, and I'm sure she went through chemo multiple times. I'm sure she had to deal with in and out of the hospital and all this. Woo! My goodness, like I said, there's no way. There's no way I could, be working, the cancer ward and all that kind of stuff during the hospital. Like, I just couldn't do it. You couldn't do it, man. Oh, to see that kind of stuff every day. My grandfather knew he was dying, and I sat with him for hours as different family members dropped by to say goodbye. He never spoke or really acknowledged them. When everyone had finally left and my folks stepped out for a breather, he started squeezing my hand. I asked if he was hurting, but he didn't say anything, so I asked if he was scared, and he turned his head to look right in my eyes. I told him it was okay and I'd be right there with him. He squeezed my hand again and whispered, "Ernie." That was my late grandmother Ernstine's name. Oh, that's a name. Holy shit. Okay, damn. So I started talking about her and that I knew he missed her, so maybe he was more nervous than afraid. I told him he looked really handsome, especially since the hospice nurse had come in and give him a clean shave, just the way Mama liked it. He squeezed my hand harder. His eyes got really and started mumbling. Okay, his eyes got really something. I don't know. Mumbling, no, JP. That's when I realized why he was so anxious. My grandmother's first husband was JP, and they were married for 15 years before he passed away in a logging accident. They loved each other very much and had 5 children. My grandfather married her a little while later, treated her children like his own, and they had 2 children together, with my dad being their youngest. They were married for more than 50 years, yet when my grandfather's time came, he was afraid that he wouldn't see my grandmother because she would be with her first husband. There wasn't anything I can say to seem to bring him any comfort. He just whispered JP over and over, shaking his head while looking around as if he were in the room. All I could say was, JP got to spend the last 8 years with her. I'm sure she'll be more than ready to see you by now. Ooh. Damn, he's like, no. I'm sure he was kind of freaking out a little bit. He's just like, no, like grandma up there with her first love, Like, I'm going to be up there with nobody. Damn. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Goodness. I mean, at least you were there with him to the end. You talked about, mama, and you know what I mean? And you gave him some comfort, I guess. Jesus. All right, I'm going to do like 2 more. This thread is a little sad, if I'm being honest with you. But I appreciate you guys sharing your stories for today's thread. I was with my father-in-law when he passed. No words, just long gasp breath like a fish out of water. He kept trying to pull the sensor leads off himself and leave. But he just didn't have the energy. He was 6'4" and 300 pounds of kind-hearted grumpiness until the last year of his life, when he must have weighed around 220. Cancer ate him from the inside out, slowly, painfully, and relentlessly. Greg, you tough son of a bitch. I miss you every day. Man. Oh, that's crazy. Ooh. All right. This will be our last one. This isn't really scary in the way you're asking, but when I was an intern, I was discharging a patient I had a connection with from the hospital to hospice with terminal cancer. This dude had nobody in his life. I told him I'd come visit him, and his last words to me were, "No, you won't," but I actually did. Maybe 3 weeks later, I went to the hospice house, and he had already passed away. I was wrecked, but it made me realize how fast things can change, and the impact of my last words to this dying man was, okay. And the impact of my last words to this dying man scarred me and stuck with me. My goodness. Dude, he was like, "Don't worry, I'll come visit." And he was like, "No, you won't." He's like, "Cause I'm going. I'm out of here." I'm telling the big man in the sky, cash me out, baby. Clock me out. I'm ready. I'm ready to go home. Dude was ready to go. And that, I feel, is the most scariest part about, I guess, mortality itself, is just when your punch card is up. You know what I mean? When you're clocking out of this life and you're going home. That to me is like the craziest thing, to think about. You're just like you just know. It's like when you're sick. It's like when you know what I mean, your stomach hurts when you got a boo-boo, or you know what I mean? It's just that feeling you get of like, you're done. Your body's ready to go. It's, dude, that to me is the scariest thought, about life. And it's what kind of makes me live the life to the fullest. And it kind of is what makes me live, life in such a grateful way, where I'm just like, I don't harbor hatred for people. You know what I mean? I don't get mad at people as easy. I don't, have a bad relationship with my mom or my dad and all this kind of stuff, because it's just like, you're gonna reach that point sometime in your life. And when you do, it's like, I want to have no regrets. I want to just be like, I want to get into all the stuff that I've always wanted to do, whether it fails or not. You know what I mean? Like, there was a point in my life I wanted to be, a musician. I mean, I still do. I still love making music and all that kind of stuff. But it was just like, I did it and I have no regrets for it. This podcast, I'm like, this is something I wanted to do. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Whether it works out or it doesn't, I won't have that regret. And it's just like, and just same thing with other things in life. It's just, so it's just, man. Oh, that was something that, I don't know, I just kind of came to my mind, and I was like, you know what? I want to see if other people out there have met people who were in that position, where they met a person who was literally right there, ready to punch their card out, and what was their story and all that kind of stuff, and so, yeah, man, that was that thread. Goodness, that was a heart-wrenching thread. My goodness. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stories that these people have shared today, and hopefully it kind of helps you appreciate the life that, you're living right now and that you get to enjoy. You wake up every day, you're healthy, you drink water, you eat food, it just, every once in a while, I think it's good to kind of appreciate the mortality that you're given, you know what I mean? And the life that you're given, because not everybody is lucky. Not everybody is as lucky as you and I. where we don't have debilitating issues and, where we're bedridden and all that kind of stuff. We can actually go out and live life. You know what I mean? Like, goodness. Like, even today, I'm about to go out with my friends and just enjoy life a little bit and be like, you know what? There are people that can't do this. Because or they are on death's door and they regret not, going to that concert or going to that event or doing this or doing that. It's just, woo, crazy to me. All right. I'm going to hop into announcements really quick. Then we're going to get into our scenarios and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. All right. Patreon.com/My Podcast. If you love what we're doing on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, Friday, Patreon is the place to get one more episode. You get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios to be featured on Tuesdays and Sunday shows, just like the people we're about to go over today. If you're primarily an audio listener, downloading the podcast as well as rating the show 5 stars helps out a ton, and it's completely free. It is free 99, and if it's for free, it is for me. So please help us out on that. If you want to help even more on the free 99 side of things, Instagram as well as TikTok, follow us over there for all the clips and the best moments of every single show. If you want to help out even more on the free 99 side, go head over to youtube.com/My Podcast and subscribe there. Hitting that subscribe button is completely free and it helps us out a lot. All right, without further ado though, let's get into our scenarios. Am I the asshole for saying I would divorce my wife in 4 years? All right, let's see if you're the asshole for that. Me, 43, and my wife, 45, were having some drinks outside the other day, and we were having a good time. She said, I wish I brought my cigarettes, and I pulled them out of my pocket as I had anticipated that she would want to smoke. She said, wow, how did you know? I said, I can see the future, especially when you're drinking. She said, you can see our relationship's future? I said, of course. So she asked me, will we still be together or will we be divorced? I said, probably divorced. And she said, when? So I said, I'll probably be tired of Peter's shit in about 4 years and I have to bounce. Peter is my wife's son from a previous marriage. He is 24 years old. Me and my wife have been together for 21 years. I have raised this boy as my own, and he has called me dad since he was 5. We have a great relationship. Never had the "you're not my real dad" fight. We are good. However, I feel like my wife coddles him, and he is failing to launch, so to speak. He's in uni, but he never had a job. His social circle is like 5 people that he is consistently online with. He very rarely leaves the house or his room for that matter. My wife has to remind him to shower every day, and she has to wake him up every day. He will not wake up to an alarm, mainly because he is usually up until 6 or 7 a.m. playing online games. He is not a bad kid. He doesn't drink / smoke / do drugs. He is not an incel. He doesn't listen to Andrew Tate. He's just kind of a nerdy shut-in. My wife is happy to have him live at home forever. I mean, by his life, he probably should listen to Andrew Tate. It might get a little kick in his ass, man. The fuck we talking about? Dude's a fucking loser. Like, let's be honest here, bro. It's like you're 24 and you're not making shit happen. Sure, you're going to school, but it's like there are kids out there that are going to school, they're working, and they're doing a passion of theirs. Like, what do you mean? Like maybe you should listen to a little Andrew Tate and get a little kick in his ass, dude. Like say what you want about Andrew Tate, but I mean, that guy sometimes lights a fire under young guys, to be like, the fuck are you doing? You're a fucking loser. You're in the house all day. You're not doing anything productive. You're not making something of yourself. And it's like, sometimes you need that little kick in the butt, and low key, he needs that. I'm not saying he needs it from Andrew Tate, but I'm just saying he just needs a little fire under his ass. Like, bro, you're 24 and that's all you're doing is going to college and playing video games? Like, my guy, get into something. Goodness. And I can see why the husband or the dad in this situation is like, I would divorce you because of him, because it's like, dude, I don't want to have to take care of this kid the rest of my life. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, sure, I get it. You know, it's tough out there right now to like live on your own and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, you're 24 and you're not at least making the steps towards that. You know, like literally you're doing the bare minimum. Like he's probably, and in uni, he's probably taking like the bare minimum classes. And, you know, so like, I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying, that's kind of my 2 cents with it. My wife is happy to have him live at home forever. I'm not. And I am very worried for him. He cannot drive and does not want to learn. He is comfortable in his life and sees no reason to grow. I stress the fact that he is an adult now, and my wife many times, I stress the fact that he is an adult now to my wife many times, but he will always be her baby. Honestly, it's killing me to watch her enable him. Every time I try to encourage him to get a part-time job or get out of the house, she tells me off and asks me to leave him alone. I feel like a failure as a parent, but he is happy. Okay. I'm going to read it verbatim. But he is happy is staying out of trouble. Okay? That's like he could do so much more though. He is very bright. I will say to her, what if we died tomorrow? What would happen to him? What would he have to do a lot? Hold on. Oh God. All right, I'm going to just read it verbatim. What would happen to him? He would have to do a lot of growing up very quickly. Maybe we should push him a little bit now, but she won't hear it. Anyway, she lost her shit on me. How could you divorce me because of Peter? He'll be fine. Everyone develops at different speeds, etc. I get it. I know. I think she also feels like we failed him by over providing, and she doesn't want to hear it. But guys, I can't sit around forever if this is the trajectory. I pray he snaps out of it, finishes uni. He is now a junior at a 4-year. He doesn't take full course load. Told you. Yes, we are paying everything, gets a job and grows up, but if not, I can't see myself supporting him forever. I feel like leaving might actually be good for the both of them. I contribute 80% to the household finances. She works part-time. Anyway, I don't really think it will come to that. I have faith in the kid. I was just 50-50 joking and serious with my 4-year timeline. 4 years is a long time, right? Not really. Those 4 years are going to go by like that, my guy. Trust. Oh, man. Everybody thinks that like 4 or 5 years is such a long time, and trust me, it's not. Those 4 or 5 years before you know it, man, are going to go by in the blink of an eye, and you're going to be like, holy shit, we're here, you know? And then that decision might come up, and you never know. I mean, could the kid get, on his feet and stuff like that? 100%. He'd be 28 by that time. So it's like, yeah, he definitely could. But I knew it. I called it. It's like he's doing the bare minimum. And I knew in uni he wasn't doing a full course load. I knew he was doing like the bare minimum of classes, because it's like he looks at his life as so cushy. Why am I going to do more than what's expected of me? And that's the type of shit that his mom is enabling in him, to where it's like, dude, he doesn't feel like he has to do any more. And it's like he needs that fire kind of lit under his ass. And that's why I'm saying it's like maybe he does need to, listen to one of these guys who really is good at motivating and getting out there. Sure, Andrew Tate's not your cup of tea. That's fine. But there are many of other people out there that can motivate you to get out there, do the things that you want to do, accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish, because trust me, man, it's not going to just come to you. It's not. You got to work hard to get to where you want to be, especially nowadays with the internet and so many people out there, competing against each other. Like, dude, it's rough. It's rough, and there's so many talented people out there. There's so many people who work so much harder than the average person. I mean, there are people who do a full-time job, they do their passion, and they, do a little side thing here and there or whatever. There's some people with 2 jobs and then they do their passion. There's some people who do multiple passions and a full-time job. And, I'm no exception. I have a full-time job and I do my passions. And so it's like, the fact that there are so many people out there that are just like striving so hard, and he's doing the bare minimum and expects like, oh yeah, everything's just going to work out for me. It's like, no, because even those people that are working the full-time job and doing multiple passions or doing multiple jobs and their passion, guess what? It's still, they still haven't got to where they want to be, and they're working their ass off every day. So if they're doing that much and you're doing this little, trust me, you ain't going nowhere. It's just, woo. Yeah. Okay. So to wrap it up, she thinks I'm an asshole because I'm giving an ultimatum and she doesn't care how long he stays at home. So am I the asshole here? You're the asshole in the way of you're saying that you're going to divorce her in 4 years. Your reason may be pretty valid. I give you that, but it's a thing where it's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's not the asshole just because of the reason is pretty valid. I don't know. Because even for me, it's like when you get up, think about it like this. He's 43, she's 45, and he looks at it like, I want to be able to retire and not have to take care of a kid. I want to be able to retire and kind of do the stuff that I want to do, and not have to have this responsibility of taking care of this grown ass man, mind you. And so he probably looks at it like, oh, if I divorce her, then I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to retire and kind of, be on my own time kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, and at the same time, if you give him the 4 years and nothing happens, then what? You leave your family and then you're kind of all alone, and that would kind of suck too. Yeah, you're retired and kind of do what you want to do, and sure, it'd be great for a couple months, but then after that you'll kind of be like, damn man, I kind of still wish I was with my girl, regardless of fucking her son and everything like that, so I don't know. Do you guys think he's the asshole for that? I do think her son is a problem, definitely, but as far as divorcing, I think that's a little too far. That's a little too much. Maybe I would just cut the son off. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would do. I would just be like, I would cut him off, and make him earn everything, make him pay rent, all that kind of stuff. Be like, look, man, if you want to be in this house, if you want to use this electricity and internet and all that kind of stuff, you got to pay rent, buddy. You want to eat, you gotta pay your way around here, and that's probably what it is. That's probably what you'll probably have to do is just cut him off. If he wants to do things, stop paying for his schooling, and, just get to a point where it's like, hey, you got to pay for everything that you want. I know the mom is probably not going to be about that, but I mean, you said you contribute 80% of that stuff. So, you might be able to do something with that, but hey, I don't know. Do you guys think he's an asshole? Let me know. All right. Am I the asshole for having sex with my boyfriend's friend per his request, but enjoying it too much? Uh-oh. So homeboy was like, I want you to have sex with my best friend. And then she was just like, I don't know about this. And then the friend laid down that caucus and she was like, oh, goddamn. Mans knows how to use that meat. So let's see what's going on. I've been dating my boyfriend, Harry, for 2 years now. I'm 23 and he's 29. It's been going pretty well. We've had our fights here and there, but it's always been resolved. I will say our sex life has been kind of dry recently, but it didn't really bother me. Sex isn't the be all end all, but I understand it's important. My boyfriend one night telling me how hot he thought it would be if I was fucking another guy. What? Bruh. You're weird. Let's see. And it kind of took me by surprise, but I get that people developing kinks and want different things. He kept bringing it up and I thought it was a joke for a while, and then he outright told me he wanted to see me fuck one of his friends, Justin, and now how he thought it would be so hot to see. Now, Justin is your prototype hot athlete type, shredded, tall, just an incredibly handsome individual. I initially just laughed it off, and I was honestly thought he was still joking. And if I'm being honest with you, she was probably just like, no, I would totally don't want to fuck him. What are you talking about? Like, he's all tall and muscular and shit. No, thank you. Like, what are we talking about here? You know, I can see why she liked it. Like, come on, man. He kept bringing it up and saying things like, I know Justin finds you hot too. Come on. I know it'd be fun. We'd all have a great time. Mind you, this is him literally wanting me to fuck one of his friends. Not like a threesome. He just wanted to outright watch me and Justin go at it. I eventually just was like, you know what? Justin is hot. If you want me to fuck him and he wants to as well, let's make it happen. Yeah, cause she knew she was like, what, for real, him? Oh, I mean, if I have to, like, I'm not against it, you know. Like, come on, girl, come on now. Let's see. I asked him if there was anything off the table, and he told me he just wanted me to have a good time and enjoy it. My boyfriend was super excited with me agreeing, and like I said, Justin is hot as hell, so I wasn't mad about the idea. He invited Justin over. We had a few drinks. I was a little drunk, and me and Justin fucked while Harry watched. Harry told me he didn't want to get involved. I had a great time. Justin had a great time, and I thought my boyfriend enjoyed it too. I won't get into the specific details about what went down, but the day following me and Justin having sex, Harry got pissed at me and was telling me things like, why the fuck did you enjoy him that much? And you never sound like that when we fuck. And asked why I never said that many dirty things like I did with Justin, which is just a lie. I usually say dirty things with Harry as well. After that night, he told me not to talk to Justin anymore, and it was a one-time thing, and to block him or block his number. I did all of that, and he's still giving me attitude and almost treating it like I cheated on him, which I feel like I didn't. Was I in the wrong? If I was, how can I fix this? Why did you do it in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You knew, in a way, you're not dumb. Look, you're not dumb, girl. And I know you're not stupid. You knew that something like this was gonna happen. You knew that, like, shit was gonna eventually hit the fan, or he was gonna feel some jealousy, or he was gonna feel some resentment toward it. Like, you knew this was gonna happen. It was why you kind of played it off for so damn long. But for some reason, you sat there and you did it. And now you're kind of wondering why he's being like this. Like, come on, girl. Like, you kind of knew he was going to do this. Now, I'm not putting any blame on her, you know, because if I'm being honest with you, there's blame on both sides. It's, for one, I think dude wanted to watch his girl get smashed by another guy who he may have felt was like, oh, he probably can't, his dick game is probably not as good as mine or whatever. That might have been what it is. Either that, or, you know, he probably, you know, was smashing some other girl and then wanted to have her do this. And that way, it's like, oh, if I ever get found out, cheating, then it's just like, oh, well, you smashed so and so, and but then she's gonna be like, but you wanted me to, but you still did it. You know what I mean? And that could also be a thing too. Like, this could also be like a whole manipulation tactic, and that's why I say it's like there's a lot of wrong on his side too with this shit. It's like, Broham, are you playing at that, or what's going on? Because I get it. Cuckoldry is a kink to a certain degree, but it's like, for him to act that way after just tells me that it wasn't a kink and that there was something else going on. Because if this was actually a kink, then it would be a thing where he'd have been totally fine with it, and that was that. Justin probably would have smacked that coochie 3 or 4 times, if this was actually a kink. But I don't think it's actually a kink. I think it's something to where he was probably doing something. He did this to make it feel even. You know what I mean? And it's just like, or to ease his conscience or his guilty conscience. And that's how I see it with a lot of these situations, and a lot of times when these situations come up on this show, that's how it seems to me. Because you can't just talk your girl into having sex with this, super Chad of a guy named Justin, you know what I mean, and then sit there and get mad. Like, of course she's gonna be doing the most. Why? Because she's probably actually physically attracted to this dude. You are probably, one of those dudes who are like skinny fat, or you borderline dad bodden or something like that, and then she actually has sex with a guy who's actually in physical peak shape, and she's just like, holy shit, this man can schmack them coochie walls good. He's got that endurance like a motherfucker. Like, come on now. And then she looks at him, you know what I mean, while he's towering over, and she's like, holy shit. Like, come on, man. I'm surprised she stayed with her dude after that. Like, is she over here talking about I enjoyed it? Shoot, you might as well just be like, fine then. If you want to do all this prissy shit, we're done. I'm gonna go be with Justin. Like, come on, man. I'm just saying. I think that there was more to this story that he didn't tell her. But why you did it in the first place, girl, that was stupid. Like I said, you're not stupid. You knew this was going to happen. You knew he was going to feel some type of way about it, and all that kind of stuff. And it was going to start problems and fights and all. That's why when he was just like, I want you to block his number and all this kind of stuff, you did it immediately, because you were kind of just like, oh, I knew this was going to happen, and you were ready. Like, you knew what was happening. Oh my goodness. But, to answer the question, is she the asshole for enjoying it? No, you're not. Because, in your own words, man was hot. Yeah, so of course, a guy that you find physically attractive, smashing them walls, yeah, I guarantee you probably went overboard. You probably probably don't even remember half the shit you were saying because it was so good. Like, let's just be hundo P here. I don't think you're the asshole. All right, on to our next one. My wife has applied to be a surrogate without my knowledge. Ooh. Okay, my wife, 31 female, walks up to me, 35 male, this morning and proceeds to tell me that she applied and was approved to be a surrogate mother. We have been married for 2 years, together for 7, have 2 kids of our own, and have been trying for a third. She's a stay-at-home mom. I provide for the family. I'm clearly agitated by the situation. I'm not yelling and screaming mad, but I'm upset. This decision affects our entire family. Not only have we been trying for our own baby, but this is going to be hard on our family, on our relationship, on her body, her mentally and emotional health. I've expressed all of this to her, and all she can come up with is that it's a selfish act to help another family. Which I understand, it helps another family, but at what cost? Her marriage, her kids. I can't stop what I'm doing to take care of her when she's pregnant, especially if it's not my kid. I don't need or want the money. She would be paid for carrying the child, as we are well off because of what I provide. So please tell me how I'm the asshole. I mean, my thing is what's the difference between her being pregnant with your kid and then her being pregnant with this surrogate kid? Because you sat there and said like, oh, I can't take care of her, because I work and provide for the home. And, but it's like, and then, obviously she can't tend to the kids as well because, she can do it, but she can't do it, as well as she would if she wasn't pregnant. Like, what's the difference? It's like she's still going to be in the same situation of like she's pregnant. It's just, it's your kid versus the surrogate kid. You see what I mean? It's like what that kind of is what caught me. I'm like, you guys are going for a third kid. I get that. That's fine and dandy. That's great. But it's like for her wanting to do the surrogacy thing. I mean, it's not like she, the dad is laying pipe in her and just hoping that she gets pregnant and that's the surrogate. No, So I'm like, how is it going to affect the marriage? How is it going to affect really anything? Because if you get her pregnant, you guys are still going to be in that same position. No, like she's pregnant. You're going to have to take care of her here and there. She can't really, tend to the household needs to the same degree that she used to because she's pregnant. It's like she's in the same spot, but one situation she's being paid to do it, and I get it. You're like, I don't need the money, whatever, but I mean, you're going to be in the same spot anyway. You might as well just be like, you know what, babe, that's fine. If that's something you want to do and you're getting paid for it, that's fine. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. And then you guys can have your third kid later on, or maybe she's trying to do the surrogacy thing to see if, she'll have a healthy child. And she looks at it like, if this kid doesn't come out healthy, then it's like, hey, here's your baby, and then she could just be like, well, let's not try for a third kid because I'm probably at that age. I don't know. Did they give ages? Yeah. She's 31. So it's like, she's probably just like, well, I'm at that age to where I can't have, a fully developed, healthy child. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's their kid, not ours. We don't have to deal with a kid who has, issues or autism or things like that, because I was able to do the surrogacy thing and it told us what our third kid would be like. That could be a thing too. You never know. Like I personally feel like dude's overreacting because you'd be in the same spot regardless. Whether it's you getting her pregnant or the surrogacy pregnancy, you'd be in the same spot. I think you're overreacting regardless. I say let her do it. Get that money. Put that money aside for a vacation or something. You never know. Yeah, or use that money to fund your kids' college fund. I don't care. But you know what I mean? Get that money. See how the baby turns out. And then if she wants to pop out another chitlin that's yours, then great. You know what I mean? Like I don't see the difference in it, whether she's pregnant with your kid or she's pregnant with a surrogacy kid. Aside the fact that one, she's getting paid, the other she's not. Ooh. Goodness. All right, on to our next story. All right, this is going to be our last one for today on today's beautiful Sunday episode. All right, I think my girlfriend cheated on me with my brother. Oh, shit.
She belongs to the streets.
I've been with my girlfriend for a few years. We lived together, and at that time, in October 2022, I was working as a salesperson, and she didn't have a job. I worked hard to earn money and live humbly while she took the time to find a job. I worked as much overtime as possible for a week during the day. She spent at my brother's, who lived in the next town. No problem. I trust her. He has a dog and she loves dogs. Then at home, she is bored with my store hours. Didn't shock me. Then one day on my Google photo, the desire to switch accounts to look at his photos crossed my mind. So I did it. I found some nudes that I have never seen in my life. A photo of a panty stained with white and a video capture of her snap, which showed the my eye only. I had very serious doubts, but nothing blatant, just jealousy. Okay. One day we were going to make love. I saw her pussy full of pieces of toilet paper. I know she wasn't home all day, and the pieces were really around the hole. Internally, I exploded with rage, but I didn't see anything obvious. Wait, what? He was just like, "What? Bitch, why does your vagina have toilet paper pieces around it?" Like, that's such a weird thing to get mad at, but okay. I mean, maybe there's method to the madness, I'm guessing. I don't know. Like, what? Several days pass where I think about it day and night, and it destroys me inside. One evening, I took the plunge. I came home from work, and I asked her directly if she was cheating on me. She replied no. She didn't understand. I told her to show me her phone to show her my proof, and she did it. I go to the photo gallery, not the Google one, and I show him the pictures that gave me doubts. I also go to the deleted ones, and I see a photo of my brother's back with scratches, his neck with mini hickeys. Then she takes her phone back saying, "I have private things." Then even though she always told me she had nothing to hide. We spent the evening explaining between tears for her and howls of anger from me. She explains to me that the nudes were for her and learning to love each other. The photo of the panties and the capture of screen to tease me, except she didn't know how to do it. My brother's marks came from the fact that it was his sex date and he just wanted to keep it as a souvenir. I don't know. This shit ain't lining up. Annoyed, I tell her to get out of the apartment, that I need to breathe. When she came out, I turn her PC and I go to her messenger. Nothing fishy. And on her Instagram, there are messages, ambiguous but nothing blatant. A little, even if there were things not to be said. We explained to each other all week. His answers didn't convince me, but I didn't find anything blatant disturbingly, certainly, but not deception, strictly speaking. With a history of extreme jealousy, it happened to me in the past to make connections too easily, even though no. Okay. All right, man. You guys need to proofread when you like write this shit out, because a lot of it just makes no sense. And I'm just like, all right, this is okay. Today with her, I didn't have an ounce of jealousy, but since then it has haunted me. She told me to go because she felt abandoned by me. Sorry, working so we could live together. Sorry, I'm working so we could live together. Since this event, my girlfriend no longer speaks to my brother. He was blocked by her and no longer has any real social interaction with her. I think it's average, but since then, she has redeemed herself, become an even more loving woman. But hey, since then, it's in a corner of my head. I can come back to her for real explanations, always a failure, but at least it hurts her to see me in this state from time to time. I tell myself that if she feels that way, it's really over. In short, it's been a long time, but hey, we live in this kind of event. I don't know. Look, man, golly, I think you just spewed out a bunch of extra shit we didn't care for. But my biggest thing is her excuses didn't line up with really anything, if I'm being honest with you. Like the fact that you took those nude pictures and they were sent to your brother because they were on his Google shit. They were on her phone and they were on his Google stuff. You couldn't make that correlation that she sent those. Like, come on, man. And then on top of that, it's like, while you at work, where is she at? She at your brother's house. You know, the whole scratching and hickeys and all that kind of stuff. Guess what? That could have been her. Like, dude, there's just too much that, like, what her explanation of it was just doesn't line up. If I'm being honest with you, it doesn't line up. And to me, it sounds a little fishy. It's like, I don't fully believe all of what she's saying to be the truth. Because like I said, you checked her phone. Those pictures were there on her phone. And then the fact that she grabbed it away from you and was like, I have private things in there. It's like, oh, you do now. Oh, okay. All right. That in itself was like, no. So it's like, come on. Do you really believe that? Do you really think that she's being fully honest with you? I don't know. Personally, though, I think, yeah, she was smashing the brother, and then she knew she got caught, and that's what it was. She knew she got caught, but she knew at the same time, like, he doesn't fully know, but he knows. Yeah, and she was just like, well, shit. I got caught, but I didn't get fully caught enough to where he'd break up with me, yeah, like, because he's stupid enough to kind of believe, like, okay, nah, maybe she's not doing that. And then the toilet paper on the vagina thing, that was a little weird. I don't know what that was all about. Again, useless information. I'm just like, bro, what? So, like I said, I think she was cheating on you, man, and you went back to her, and that's what it is. You guys let me know what you think about that scenario and all the scenarios that we've gone over in today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to be it for your boy for today. Appreciate you guys. Next week, we're going to be starting a brand new, or is it next week? No, it's not next week. It should be, because if I remember, next week, I believe is... Okay, yes. So next week, Haunting Adeline is 40 and 41. And then the following week will be the last episode for Haunting Adeline. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the Haunting Adeline. That one is coming to a close. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to get into the last few chapters of this book. And then we might do book 2, or we might continue Haunting Adeline. We'll see. What I mean is we might do book 2 of Haunting Adeline, or we might do a different book. So I don't know. We'll see. But again, patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Podcast. Get in there for the exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios to be featured on Tuesday and Sunday shows. If you're a primary audio listener, rate and download the podcast. Follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok, and subscribe to us on YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much for being here and checking out the show. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I'll see you all, and peace.